Here we are,
Hello.
two cranky, two cranky women.
Female Rage, the podcast.
Female rage.
I want to be happy. Oh my gosh. And like, what's so funny to me? Okay, so today it was 70, like 2 degrees. And I went for a walk by myself, which was really nice. I don't do that very often because I actually do enjoy going on walks with my family and my kids and I've been teaching Nola to talk to trees.
Yeah.
And, like, really telling her, like, leave it at the tree because the tree has no judgment, no feelings, no emotions,
Yeah.
right? Like the fucking tree. Now, there's other reasons why I wanted to talk to the trees, but, like, for her, it's a venting space. And you can talk about me because
Yeah.
I'm the number one problem in her life right now, right?
Yeah. You are.
Mom.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm that bitch. And, so anyways, but I went on a walk today and I even had a really hard time connecting on my walk, and that made me even more sad
Yeah.
because I have been really working on I'm crazy. I'm not well, I mean, I use crazy as a fun way. I don't really mean crazy like crazy crazy. I'm crazy in like a fun crazy. It's a fun kind of crazy. Um, I have really been working on like waking up and really being intentional and I have come to believe in my life that if I want to meditate, I can't force myself to meditate on a schedule because I won't do it or I'll feel too
Yeah.
much pressure or then I won't do it at all. So I don't really have a routine. But what I've been doing is like when I have the moment and I've been really connecting and really grounding and really working on grounding because I'm in my head all the time, and things are crazy in our world, things are crazy in my personal life, things are just kind of all over the place in the other kind of crazy, not the fun kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And the other one. And like, I this week haven't done a fucking thing. And like, Blake even noticed because sometimes I'll even pull out my tarot deck and I'll play with the cards and like, I'll just, a lot of the times I do that to test my abilities
Yeah.
to say, how tuned in am I? And I play with that, and so like, if I can't connect to my higher self, like, can I pull a message? Like, what messages can I bring in? And usually they're fucking pretty damn spot on. So I'm like, okay, I am tuned in. I haven't even touched the cards. Okay. And Blake's like, you haven't touched anything. And I said, I know. And it was the whole week. And that probably made it worse. Not that the cards, but because I didn't ground and because I didn't meditate, because I didn't even leave it to the universe or let it go, it probably made my whole week 10 times worse because I didn't do anything. But that's like how out of sync and spiraled this week has been. And it's been just hard. It's been really hard. It's been hard to enjoy my job, enjoy like my creative hobbies, to enjoy being present, to enjoy nature, which is sad,
Mm-hmm.
to enjoy meditation or to journal. I've been journaling. I hadn't done any of that, and I'm not great. I don't do everything every day the same. I just can't. Like that's just not my personality. And so, but I didn't do a damn thing. It was not great. Like, it made me think about it right when we started, like, that is just but that happens, it happens, and I know last week we talked about duality of, the human emotion and, like, who are we're gonna have human emotions and we're gonna have our spiritual side too, we are still human, and so I don't really know. I feel like I, like, set myself up to test exactly what I talked about last week.
Ooh, I think you might be onto something. And honestly, as you were talking, because I had a shitball week too. I cried at work. I don't know, it's just been a lot. But,
Mhm.
as you're talking about it, that's probably part of my issue as well is, I was gone for close to 2 weeks, then I've been
Yeah.
back for a week, but even coming back, like, I haven't done my routine. I haven't I've grounded to some degree. Haven't meditated much. I haven't done
Mhm.
anything with any of I'd love to work with my cards for probably 4 weeks it's been. I just haven't given myself time, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think that starts to spiral. I know it does me, and then today I was asked, I wanted some intuition, and the answer that I thought I got didn't turn out the way that it actually turned out. So then I was pissed. But then I started, if I'm being really honest, it was my own desire that I wanted to have happen in a certain way. It wasn't
Mm.
I wasn't really tuned in.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think that that's been part of the issue for me as well, is, like, I just haven't given myself the time to do some of the things that really help me stay balanced, you know?
Yeah.
And I think, the thing that happened with me at work, when I got home that night and kinda could reflect on it a little bit, I just was reminded of the quote by Buddha that, expectation is the root of all heartache. And because
Mhm.
certain individuals didn't do certain things that I expected them to do, I was pissed and I felt let
Mhm.
down and I felt like, you guys are supposed to perform this way and here
Mhm.
this thing is a train wreck.
Yeah.
And I think my emotions were heightened anyway because of everything with my mom, my husband's dad's not been well. There's been a lot coming at us.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
but it did remind me that, I expect something from somebody, and when I don't get it, who's hurt? They're cruising along in life just fine. I'm the one
Yeah.
who, took it personally and let it get to me. So
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like as we're talking, because really, when Myra and I were talking before we started to record, it was just like, what are we going to talk about? Because we're both fucking ornery. We're just both kind of spent. We both have these weird weeks. But I think it's been good because it's kind of like, well, you're also not, what I tell my clients, I'm not taking time for myself. I'm not doing my
Mhm.
self-care the way I should. Yesterday was the first time that I'd done anything for my body. I hiked, I did my exercises. I hadn't even done my little jiggler machine.
Mm.
So I did that yesterday. I did
I
that
haven't
today,
either this week.
getting back
Yeah.
into that. Yeah, I know. I'm like, "Oh my god, I haven't even done my whatever the hell that thing's called."
Mhm.
I call it the jiggler.
The vibration, it's a jiggler. That's what it really is. Don't let anyone fool you. But the vibration plate, yeah, I haven't done it
Yeah, yeah.
either. I
Yeah.
and I for me, having children, they have been totally projecting, and so, like, I can see because 'cause they're a mirror, right? Like, how I've been feeling and their emotions and the way it's mirrored back to me, and, yeah, it was very, very apparent that I am not being cool, and so
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, you're not being great." So, I'm like, "Alright," and it's just been like, and I can see that for what it is, right? I can see it for what it is. I can hold space for that and then what's happened this week. And I'm not beating myself up about it. And I can't undo what's been done, but I
Right.
can move forward differently, and I can have conversations because I do often have conversations, whether it be with myself, because I have a lot of those, or whether it be with my spouse or with my kids, or the dogs. I don't fucking
Yeah.
know. Somebody comes through my wrath at some point. And I explain, I usually say, I admit when I feel, I admit like, hey, I wasn't my best self, or like, hey, this I could have done better here, or like, hey, why didn't this work out this way? And so there's a lot of open dialogue in my home. And I'm grateful for that because I feel like I didn't grow up with that. And not in a I did and I didn't. My family was open. Yes, they were very open. But I felt misunderstood my whole life. And there are times that I continue to feel misunderstood. I feel like I'm over here going, "Ah," and then what's coming out is like hieroglyphics, not even another language, like symbols, and no one
Symbols.
can decipher it, and I feel that way a lot. And I feel misunderstood a lot. And that's something that I've really tried to do differently as a parent is like really work through like, okay, it's okay to have different opinions, different thoughts, different feelings, to feel a way, to navigate life differently. Cause my daughter and I are not the same people. And I have expectations of a child. And I understand now my mom had expectations of me. And when I
Mhm.
wasn't meeting those expectations, which is exactly what Trista's talking about, there was a lot of emotions and hurt and feelings. But some of it's like, where did these expectations even come from? Right. And so I did actually reflect on this on my walk. So I was a little reflective about like, what expectations am I putting on my children? Like, and especially as a daughter, a female, right? Like I expect this and this and that. And she's the opposite of everything that I expect. and that's
Yeah.
okay. And so how am I gonna deal with that, right? And move forward from that. And so, like, I grew up in a different environment where image was everything to my mother, and I've really come to understand that, and she expressed internally, like, she went inward, and I'm an external expresser. Like, I wanna talk about it, I wanna go through it, I wanna walk through it, I wanna hash it out, I wanna hear both sides, I want answers, I need this, I need that, and because of the differences in that environment, I felt even more misunderstood, and
Mhm.
so, like, I really tried to cultivate an environment where if somebody wants to talk it through, that is available. If they don't wanna talk it through, that's also okay,
That's
and
also
so
okay. Yeah.
having those conversations are just really critical for me in my space and in my life. And this week has been a lot of that too, whether it be even in my job, I feel very misunderstood in my job. Even if it's not totally verbal, I do feel verbally misunderstood. I feel like I don't know what the
Yeah.
fuck these people are. But also, just like my value is misunderstood. Like, I feel like I am showcasing my skills and they're being interpreted differently. Like, I don't know how else
Mhm.
to say that. Like, I'm like, you are underutilized. And not that I'm over here thinking I'm the best fucking thing since sliced bread, but I do know my worth, and I am pretty not bad at this world. Like, I am not bad at this shit. And, like, I know that I can do these different things. And, what's interesting is I got a new hire, and she's very great and wonderful, but she has no background in marketing or in data analytics or interpreting data or anything. And she's a journalist and an editor, and that is a beautiful skill. And I am not a journalist and I'm not an editor. Can I write copy? Absolutely. But they are hiring her and training her to do data and analytics and marketing when that is literally my background and they want me to write copy. It is beyond like brain level understanding for me. I'm
What the
lost.
heck?
I'm lost.
Yeah.
I'm lost. And like I've this week I just started laughing, and then I'm like scratching like I'm literally scratching my head
Yeah.
like right now. Like I'm even like what the and, I think that there could be room to do things differently in my position in more of strategy, which is what I love and where I belong. And I'm a big picture kind of person, and I have a lot of really great ideas on what to do and how to take things to the next level. And they bogged me down with such minuscule, ridiculous shit for this last year. And then they bring on this person and they're like training her with all the things I've asked to have access to that I've never had access to. And so talk about being misunderstood. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
this is weird. I feel like I genuinely feel like Twilight Zone. And so I've really had to think about that. And, there's other things that have happened and like with monetary things. And so it's even more reflective and confusing. And this week has really brought a lot of that to light. And, I wasn't totally off the rails, but I did address it because I
Mhm.
have been suppressing it for a couple weeks now. Like, every week I've met with people and been like, "Okay, yeah." And Tuesday, I was like, "You know what? Actually, this isn't cool. This is really just not great.
Mhm.
This is not great on many, many levels." And so, like, even that came to a head this week for me. And so there's something to learn in this moment, and there's something to learn in this role and in this position. And I have honestly, everything that's been asked of me and more than asked of me, I've done. So it's not like I have, and I can proudly say that, and I can say that, like, I haven't been like, I don't know. And I just have stopped. That's not what I've done. And I have trained this person with every knowledge that I have too, and knowing that this is very weird and backwards. But I have like, how do you read data? Well, let me show you. How do you read RPMs and click through rates and shit like that? Like, stuff that no one
Yeah.
cares about. And I'm like helping walking her through this, and I'm still doing it and teaching it exactly as I should because that's what I
Mhm.
believe a leader is. Am I
Yeah.
crying and screaming and being an asshole to her? Absolutely not. I could, but that's not what I'm doing, and I don't believe that that's the right thing to do, and so I can be proud of myself for that too, and that's
Yeah.
something that I reflected on too, even though things came to a head, I can see the positive in it, like, maybe this is an example of me of being a humble leader too, and even a teachable leader, this even there's a lot that I can learn from this experience, and I understand that. Do I still feel misunderstood and undervalued? Absolutely. And
Yeah.
I think that's okay to feel that way too.
Yeah, I agree. I think I was thinking as you were talking, like, about frustrations at work, and one of the things that came to mind that I believe is happening, and I think you're starting to see it, and many other metaphysical teachers have talked about this, is just the way that business has been conducted in the past can no longer
Mhm,
be sustainable with the new energies coming in.
mhm,
It's kind of interesting what you're talking about of how backwards everything is, and I just think, is that part of the energy starting to break down the way that business is, right? The way that business runs. And for me, one of my frustrations this week is everything I do uh, has to be approved, pretty much has to be approved, clear up to the CEO level. So I've had
mhm.
different things sitting there for weeks, months, right? And I got a response back on something that was so minuscule in the grand scheme of what we're doing.
Yeah,
Like like the total value of this project per customer would be $90. Like I'm not joking. Like it's so
yeah,
minuscule.
mhm,
And there were all of these questions about this program back to me.
mhm,
And I just sat there like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Like literally
mhm.
I was like, this is laughable.
Yeah,
Laughable. And 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 I had to kind of, just as you were talking, honestly, I think this episode may be more for me than anybody out there, to be honest with you. I'm having a lot of epiphanies because as you were talking, I was sitting there thinking, like, I'll be at this company for 30 years as on Thursday, the 5th of March. And as much as I desire for it to be successful and for it to move forward and for it to flourish, that's may not be the divine nature of what's truly meant to happen. It may not,
mhm,
right? And I have to learn to accept that this is a family owned business and the way that he and they choose to run it will be the dictator of it, not my desire. I can sit there and it does make me laugh now thinking about it as you were talking because I'm like, if this is what we're going to have a CEO looking at and this, out of all of the other things happening within this company, odds are not looking good, sister, you know? But it did make me think your desire is your desire. What truly has
mhm.
to happen for the greater good may not match that, you know? And,
Yeah,
because companies are really, I think the structures are definitely going to change for sure because it's not
I
sustainable.
agree. No, and you're right. The model that I work in is it's called an arbitrage model. And so months, for people that are not familiar with that, your month swings in revenue very drastically
Okay.
because it's through publication and it's okay because it does
Mhm.
balance out. Like it's a very common thing. And I work for a brand, but we act as an agency. So offers can end, stuff can get pulled. So all the revenue you think you have is really day by day. Like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the way that it track, and then you can project and you can look at things, right?
Yeah.
And I, have been like begging, borderline begging to know and understand, like, because data is data, but there's also intuition, right? And I've never worked
Right.
in an arbitrage model before.
Yeah.
And I'm producing content. I produce their content. And the content is the foundation. So whether it's driving a click-through rate, whether I'm getting a qualified lead, it just depends. Like what's happening with this content, like if we get paid per click or if we get paid for the sign-up, so the conversion, whatever it is. And if I'm making content, would you not think I need to know that?
Yeah. You would think so. Yeah.
They have cut me off for this whole time. And it's been so funny. And the more and more that I have engaged in it, you're right. Like, I hope it does well. But at this point, big question mark. And that's
Yeah.
okay. And I
Yeah.
think that this call also, or this episode is giving me the epiphany of that too. Like, it's not for me to die over, and I'm not going to, and I haven't.
Right.
Like it
Yeah.
is what it is in this moment, and I'll do the best that I can do, and I can offer all the value and all the insight that I can offer. But it's my expectations should not be dependent upon the actions of others and what they do and use, right? Or how
Yeah.
they take this information and move forward with it because I've never seen this quite like this before and I have a desire to help. I want to help, right? I want people to succeed. Like that's just me to my core. I know you're just like it. Obviously, you've been very loyal and very committed to a business for 30 years. And so there's a deep passion to want to succeed and want this brand or company to succeed because you believe in aspects of a business, right? And you believe in
Right.
nobody wants. I mean, it's actually it's a It's a blessing in life. And how cool is it to say that you are passionate enough about the company you work for to want them to succeed? That
Yeah,
is a
I
gift.
agree. Yes, it is.
And to be and so, like, and I see that for that too, because I do feel this way about this, like, the help and the business and what the business does, and the business is a financial business. It's trying to help people understand things about money, and that's something that I've been trying to really, this something that's been part of my personal journey, right? And so, like, I bring lived experience and metaphysical experience and, to knowledge into this to really, like, try to help people. Like, that's what we wanna do, right? And so I can see it for what it is, but you're right. Like, it's not for me to be so tied to the expectations of what I believe they need to be doing to succeed, because it's not worth costing me my personal peace of mind and
Yes. Yeah.
my personal beliefs or energy, I guess. Really, I'm
Yeah.
protecting my energy. It's honestly an energy leak. I've been really
Yeah.
looking at my
Mhm.
life and leaking energy, and it's usually it comes down to corporate structures. And, like, it's not worth it for me to leak my energy there. They don't deserve that part of my energy.
Yeah.
Respectfully. Honestly, no one does, especially if the vision and the model is, I mean, like, this is, I know Tressa understand, honestly, like, listener land, there's a lot of terminology here. But I know Tressa knows that this is backwards. As if, like, there's just a lot of backwards stuff here. So,
Yeah.
like, whatever they're doing, that's not for me. And what's interesting talking about brands and businesses, I have a really close friend, and his family owns a boutique in my town. And I've been friends with this individual since we were in middle school. We went to college together. And so, like, I have known this person uh, majority of my life, right? And we've stayed in contact. And this time they're battling with addiction. And so I truly didn't know if they would be present at an event. They invited me to an event this weekend. And I went and they weren't there. I don't know where they are, and that's not for me to know. But their mom owns the location, and so I went in, and I'm close with the mother too, and so we were just talking and chatting, and we were talking about the individual. But it was interesting because we didn't really like, the person wasn't the topic of conversation. It was like, oh, okay, I hope they're okay. Like, I love you. But then we were sitting there, and I don't know, it came up, and she started talking to me about the brand and the business and her business model. And I just was, like, chatting with her, and I ended up spending 3 hours reading their data and
Oh
and
my
their
goodness.
revenue. And I was looking at all of the insights that they had in the back end, and I enjoyed it. And it was really fun because I really care for these people, and I care for their business and what they're doing. And, she didn't ask me, but, like, it
Right.
was just talking, and it just kind of happened organically. But it was really fun to use that part of my brain that I appreciate and love and really enjoy. I love that part. I love branding. I love data and models and looking at, like, how people can do better. I'm a fixer. So it's like, what can we do?
Yeah.
But what was so cool, it's like being able to work with a brand that loves the community. They love the community, and I love that. That was my favorite part of working for the company Trust and I used to work for together, was
Mhm.
the community. I love
Yeah.
community. Same thing with my current job. It's the people and the helping the people, that's my thing. I love that too. I love that. And so I was talking with her, and it was really cool. And that experience, I think I needed that, because it's like, do you know what I'm talking about? And, like, this is something that I really love and enjoy, and I have a skill that I can offer to someone that actually listened. And, they're like, yeah, it's about community. And we talked about, like, she'd never heard of terms like when someone leaves a brand out there, listeners, is called churn, And so, like, for a boutique, it was really interesting because I've never looked at, like, retail in that. I mean,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, the other brand is retail, but not this kind of retail. Like, this is, like, fun stuff, like freaking free people and shit that they sell, like, fun, like, cool clothing, like, and, it was cool. Like, I was going through, like, the different stuff. Anyways, not to bore people, but the point is that, like, I'm grateful for the experience of the pendulum swinging another way for me this week, to use that part of my brain that I love so much, that I enjoy, and that I feel is a true gift of mine, to, like, actually partner with someone who it wasn't an energy leak, right? Like it was an
Yeah.
exchange and my energy was flowing to a place that really valued and appreciated what I had to say.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're right. One of the things I try to do is I rarely talk about my job with anyone. I mean, this is probably the most because I don't that's not who I am, it's what I do. I don't want it to become part
Yeah.
of my identity, you know?
Yeah.
So when I come home, it's not like I try to that doesn't need to be a topic of conversation. One of the things I think about when you say energy leak is what you said as one of the things I do is like there is an energy exchange because 'cause they're paying me, right? I'm getting a
Yes.
check. And
Yep.
so my theory is that when I'm there, I'm putting in 100%. I'm doing the very best I can, you know?
Yep.
And that's my energy exchange. But at times, like this week, it got to me. The whole thing got to me. And like I said, I think that was just one aspect of something that happened because of me not having self care, me not tuning into
Yeah.
me not,
Yeah.
letting situations take my time over and over and over and over and over again, where I never got back to center. I didn't get back to, trusting my own self and really tuning into that. So I think this is a good reset and just a reminder for me to make sure that that happens. And yeah, I think I'll go in tomorrow. It'll be a great day and things will be good. So
It will
yeah,
be. It's a
it
good
will
week.
be. It's going to be a good week. Yeah.
It's gonna be a
Yeah.
good week.
Yeah. I know you talked about though, like I was thinking this, I was like, so we did that episode on duality and I think we called it
Mm.
in. Like we sure did, you know?
Yeah, we did. Yep. It's I started saying it out loud. I'm like, we do that often.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, let me then show me your
Yeah.
duality. It's like, thanks, universe. Thanks. The universe is like, we're giving you content.
Yeah, we're giving
I'm
you
like,
content. Okay. How about
thanks, bro.
the opposite of that? Let's have
Yeah,
duality on the other side.
yeah.
Yeah.
Give me joy and peace and clarity.
Well, that's the
That's what
thing
I
about duality is sadly, that's what we said. You can find joy in grief and you can find joy in hardship. But yeah, sometimes it also feels like, okay, how many quote unquote bad things are going to happen
Yeah,
or challenging things, I guess, you know?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because I worked remotely. I went in to visit my mom this week because of everything and the schedules. Like, I didn't get to go as soon as I wanted to go, and so the day I did get to go, I think I went the first time I went, my daughter got sick, and so my mom, like, she's so funny. She's like, "I don't have any favorite grandchildren, but there's just something about her. I'm just worried about her." I'm like, "You're telling me she's your favorite grandchild, but it's okay." But they're 2 peas in a damn pod. And
Yeah.
so it was funny because, like, my mom's like, "No, you need to leave." And I just got in there. Like, I even laid in the bed. I laid in my mom's little hospital bed at the nursing home. She's in like a rehabilitation center now, but it's in the wing of a nursing home, and it's a very
Yeah.
nice nursing home. It's like one of the best assisted living facilities I've ever seen in my life. It's very clean, it's very nice. And I actually had a family member live there long term for a long time.
Oh, wow.
And so
Really?
I like this place. Like this place gives me good vibes. I'm good with it. Anyways, I show up and I got in my mom's hospital bed and I was about to spend the night. I'm like, "Hey, you think I could vacate here?"
They don't mind, do they?
I was like, "You think anyone will miss me?" And I, like, was about to be asleep, okay? Because 'cause I'm telling you, like, this was, like, the I think it was Thursday night, right? And it was the peak of bullshit of the week, right? And, I FaceTime my daughter and I'm like, "Hey, there's Nana, blah, blah, blah." My mom's like, "She's sick. Go home now." And I'm like, "Okay." So I left anyways, and she really was sick and we needed to go and we went to urgent care and things were taken care of, right? But the next day I had to work and like the way that my time blocked out, I had a meeting in between it, and so I ended up working remotely from this nursing home and it was honestly very fucking peaceful. I'm penciling it in to
Uh,
actually find time while she's there for rehab to
to go
work from
back and work?
Yeah, so, like, joy and chaos or whatever, like,
Yeah.
really, it was peaceful, I got all this shit fucking done, but, like, I went and sat in this, like, really cool room with a bunch of windows, so, like, it's kind of like a living room so the people could come out and
Oh,
hang out
mhm.
or, like, family members
Yeah,
could
like a
visit, but
common
there's
area.
windows.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, I could sit there and people watch
Yeah.
in peace, and I love that, it's kinda like a coffee shop, but a nursing home.
Yeah.
I really tuned in, I'm like, "Whatever." And it was calm, I felt fine, I had no
Yeah.
nothing crazy, so I don't know, that was my duality of that experience. I found joy in working at the nursing home.
We went to the nursing home today to see Troy's grandma. Very weird experience.
Mm,
So his cousin, we met her and her husband and their little girl for lunch. They're moving to Vietnam. So we wanted to see them
oh,
before they leave
mhm,
a Wednesday. So we have lunch. And so of course, they want to go see Troy's grandmother before they leave to go to Vietnam too. So we take them up to the nursing home. And she had a few weeks ago been moved into a different room where she had a roommate. And we'd been there
yeah.
once. We go to the room, no grandma. She's not in the bed. And we're like, oh, this is new. This has never happened. So one of the gals that cleans there is like, "I think she's in the down at the cafeteria area." I'm like, "Okay.
Mhm.
Well, that's never happened, but okay." So we cruise down there. No, but nobody's eating. It's like, "Okay." So then we're like, "Well, maybe she's getting her hair done." So we're opening all these doors.
Oh my
Where the
gosh.
hell did she go? So finally, nurse sees that we need help. She's like, "Who are you looking for?" And we tell her she's back in her old room that she was
Oh my
in.
gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they just were like, "Oh, we put her in there for today." And it was so weird. Another guy's stuff was all over, all his pictures,
That's creepy. I
his
don't like
personal
that.
No, it was weird, Myra, it was creepy. His all his pictures were there. He had 2 personal chairs that were there, like 2 recliners, because you can bring, you
Has he
can have your
transitioned?
family bring whatever. What's that?
Did he transition?
Well, that's what I don't know. I have no idea
God.
if this poor guy had just transitioned and died and now Shirley's just laying in the bed. And his stuff's still in the bathroom. Like I was like, this is creeping me out.
That's too
So
much.
bizarre. I really
I don't
hope
like that.
maybe he got better. I don't know. But they certainly haven't moved his stuff out yet. It was
I don't like
bizarre.
that. That's weird.
It was
That's
weird.
that's weird. Yeah. I didn't
Yeah,
have that happen. I would have freaked
I
the fuck
know.
out. My mom would have too. She would have been like, "Not today." And she's very blunt like that. She would have been like,
Well, the bad part is that uh, she Troy's grandmother she's really disassociated. It's getting worse and worse. So,
"Yeah,
like, I
yeah."
asked her, I'm like, "Hey, when did you come into this room, Grandma?" She's like, "I have no idea." She's like, "I just looked up and I have a window." She's like, "I can see out." I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
It was just like really weird experience. And I agree with you. I was like, I'm not a fan of this, you know?
Like that.
Yeah.
I don't like anybody's shit, to be honest.
Well,
Living, not
I'm like,
living. I
it
just
felt
don't need
weird
it.
even sitting in there
Yeah.
visiting with her with all this other guy's
Yeah.
shit around us, you know? I'm
That's
like,
funny.
"Okay."
It's weird and funny, I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
that's a
No,
little
I know.
funny.
It was bizarre.
Well, it's funny you say that because my mom's mom, who's 90, and she came to visit my mom, right? So, like, oh my God, here's something crazy. We show up, okay? My mom has like 4 items of clothing, like, not a lot of clothing, okay? Because Jeff, her husband, only brought her a few items. My mom is wearing olive green. I was wearing olive green. I've changed because I went on a walk. I was wearing olive green. My nanny is wearing an olive green dress that she wore to church. Blake is in green, Nola's in green, and Draco's in green.
Oh
And
my
I just, like,
gosh.
look around like, "What the fuck?" And I mean, like, it was bizarre. It was bizarre. I was like, "Okay." But the funny thing is, when my nanny left, I walked her out to her car, and we were talking, and she's looking at all the old people, like, trying to see who she knows, because she don't shut the fuck up either. And so she's like, "Oh,
How
hey,
many of my
Jamie."
friends are in here?
Yeah, like, "How many fuckers do I know in this joint?" And she goes, "I know them, but they're asleep." And I'm like, "Yeah, just keep going." Anyways, I looked at her and I said, "I'm glad I escorted you out because they would think you fucking escaped, like you
Yeah.
flew the coop." And your white head bobbing
Like,
out.
we're losing
Like, "Oh,
one.
shit, we got a we got a runner."
Got a runner.
You are seriously older than half these fuckers in here.
Yeah, and she's
And you're
driving.
like, "Yeah." Yeah,
Yeah.
she drives. She's, like, living her fucking best life,
Yeah.
and all these people are in here, like, not making it, and she's older than
Yeah.
them, and
That's
so she's
wild.
just bobbing around with her little head, but she's got, like, a nerve condition, so she, like, naturally bobs. Here she goes, walking around, and I'm like, "You need to get out of here, they're gonna put you in a room."
Yeah, you're gonna be in
I
room
don't
304 next. That's what
I was like,
I said to grandma today. I'm like, maybe you're like their Easter egg. They're just gonna like, pop, here she is. Where's Shirley? Find her over here. I don't know.
Honestly, it would have been really funny if she just claimed the room, like, just made it her room. It
Well,
doesn't sound
I
like she
think
did,
maybe
but, like,
I don't know, the
she's
one
just like,
gal come in and like, we're gonna get all this stuff out of here. Okay, maybe she's moving back. Hell, I don't know. It was wild.
weird. Oh, maybe he moved too, and
Maybe.
this was, like, the remains.
Ah, I don't know.
I don't
It's
like it.
like
Oh, that's
it
funny.
was
That's
interesting.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I don't know. Don't go to the nursing home, guys.
Yeah. People, if you can avoid it,
Stay moving. I
stay moving.
stay
Work out your
alive. Yeah.
energy.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, she's in this, like, wing, my mom is, where it's, like, more rehab, but
Yeah,
it's
because she's
it's
there
nice.
to just
It's
rehab
very
her
nice.
hip. Yeah.
Yeah, and then she'll boot on out, but
Yeah.
she's doing good. She's up
Yeah.
moving, actually doing better than I thought, and
Good.
so I don't know. She hopes to leave, but until she leaves, I will be remote working from
Byron's gonna
that
go
glass
chill.
living room.
She's all relaxed. Hey, can you get me a Diet Coke?
It was great. Yeah, she was, like, getting my kids snacks and shit one day, and I'm like, "Sign me up. What's for lunch?" Put my order in.
Oh, hilarious. Well, should we? Another thing we thought about doing was sharing, like we did a couple episodes ago, one thing that we found this week that we loved on social media. I don't know what do you
Yes.
got? Did you find the one?
I saved this, yeah, and, it's funny because this I saved on Tuesday. Ha, 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 funny me, and Tuesday was my worst day of all of last week. It said, "The way
Okay.
back to your center is through trusting yourself above anyone else. No one else has the answers, they are within you." And so that was, ha, ha, ha. And then the other one was like yeah. It's like, "Oh, you have that shit ass day? Let me remind you."
Let me remind you.
But that was that, and then the thing I saved, like, 2 seconds after is, like, asking yourself what genuinely energizes you and what is simply just feeling your time. Consider saying no to things and create the space for others to become truly satisfying. I
Ooh,
think
say
that's
that
it my
again.
vibes too.
Yeah. Say it one more time.
The whole thing or just
The last
you know,
sentence. Yeah.
consider saying no to the things sorry, I can't read. Saying no to some things and creating space for others to become truly satisfying.
Ooh, yeah. I like that. I think
Yeah.
that's
So back to the
powerful.
energy leak.
I think, yeah. Well, I think sometimes too, it's hard I think we've talked about this on episode long, long time ago, like honoring who you are and being able to say, no, thank you, or that doesn't serve me, or,
Yeah.
those kind of things.
Mhm.
So mine, I found this one. I don't know if you guys have heard of Bashar. He's been a channeler for like 30 plus years, but it was actually about
Mhm.
weight. And like the person asked him, other people had said, if we want to lose weight, you could practice forgiveness. And he said that could be one way. That might be one way. If you want to lose 20 pounds, for example, we could practice forgiveness. How would you practice forgiveness for it to be effective was the question. Because many times when people have physical weight issues, it's because they're literally, this was really interesting to me, waiting. Think of the word waiting.
Mm.
Waiting for something. Maybe they think they're unworthy of it. Maybe they don't believe it. But I think that really hit me because of that, the terminology he
Interesting.
used in the waiting. And how often are we waiting for something to occur for us to feel something different? Waiting
Mhm.
to, see somebody that you miss, waiting to, get the job, or like you and I talked
Mhm.
about, get the raise or whatever it is
Whatever.
before you feel a certain way. And so I'd never heard that before. and the terminology between the 2 words, you know? So, that was one of my favorite ones I had this week.
That's good, I like that.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's interesting. That would be interesting to reflect on to, like, whatever it may be, there we go. Here, we'll tie it in, listeners. So maybe this week, think about like, what are you waiting on? If wait is something that you have struggled with or that you are wanting to work on. And then if that's not it, and that doesn't pertain to you, think about what also you are giving your energy to, what energizes you, what brings you joy, what is simply satisfying, because the things that you continue to say yes to, you're saying no to something else. And, I know that. And I know that even more because that's a very common phrase in corporate, where you talk about with project management or project loading or whatever it is. But that applies to life. Every time I say yes to all these things that don't satisfy me, that don't energize me, that do not bring me joy, what am I saying no to? I could be saying no to a moment. I could be saying no to a new friend in my life. If I'm giving energy to someone that no longer serves me in a friend capacity, or like even a family member. And there's people that are out there the universe has prepared for me to meet, but I keep leaking the energy to someone else, right? Or doing something else. Or if I keep dedicating time to a project or something else and there's a new opportunity out there for me, whatever that is. So maybe if it's not what you're waiting on, maybe think about what brings you joy, what energizes you, and what are you saying yes to that you don't really care for or that doesn't bring you joy or doesn't energize your life? Because what are you saying no to because of that?
Mhm.
And what are you leaving on the table or leaving out there?
Yeah, it's funny how even today we got home and I just felt tired. I just wanted to take a quick power nap, and Troy was like, "Well, I feel like I better go walk Tug, and if I don't, I'll feel bad." He went through this whole thing. And then I'm sitting there judging myself like, "Well, I should probably get up," and I'm lazy in my mind, you know. I should
Yeah.
go walk the dog and but I didn't want to. I didn't want to.
Yeah.
And so in America, we like, because of the way that, do more, do more, do more, be busy, be busy, be busy. And I'm like, you know what? My body's telling me it needs a little 10-minute thing. And that's what I did. I just thought, okay, I need to shut my eyes and it was literally like 10, 15 minutes. I woke up, fed the dogs, did the dishes, did all this stuff, felt fine. But it was that old programming that I let get me for just a second. Like, you're being lazy. Like, why would you need a nap? You slept 9 hours last night. Well, I don't know why I need a little nap, but I do.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
we are
Yeah.
I think other countries are they're just so culturally different. Like, it's okay to take in fact, they
Mhm.
have times for that after
They
lunch, and,
do. They build it in
they
their
set
day.
up
Mhm.
yes, they build it into their day. But just for a minute, I almost went out of guilt. That was it. Guilt,
Yeah.
you know?
Mhm.
Wasn't
Mhm.
serving me. I wouldn't have listened to my body, but I did, and I'm glad I did. But those kind of things, that's what yours
Yeah.
reminded me of, you know? So,
Mhm.
well, guess
Yeah.
what? Next
The
week, we're
best.
gonna show up. We're gonna kick ass. We're gonna have the best
Yeah.
week. We won't be 2 bitches, because 'cause I'm gonna start my self-care back up. Well, until next time, keep your vibrations way high.